Hey there, fellow car enthusiasts. Today, we're tackling a topic that might seem a bit daunting for some: how to tell if your car alternator is bad. Now, before you start picturing yourself knee-deep in car parts and wires, let me assure you, diagnosing a bad alternator isn't rocket science. In fact, with a few simple tricks and tips, you'll be able to spot the signs like a pro. So, grab a cup of coffee and let's dive in. First things first, let's talk about what an alternator actually does. Think of it as your car's personal power generator. It's responsible for keeping the battery charged and supplying electrical power to your vehicle's systems while the engine is running. So, needless to say, it's pretty important. Now, onto the fun part. How do you know if your alternator is on the fritz? Well, one telltale sign is dimming headlights. If you notice that your headlights are flickering or getting dimmer while you're driving, it could be a sign that your alternator isn't doing its job properly. After all, nobody wants to be driving around with headlights that are barely visible. Talk about a safety hazard. Another common symptom of a bad alternator is a dead battery. Now, before you start pointing fingers at your battery, consider this. If your battery keeps dying, even after you've had it tested and recharged, it might actually be your alternator that's to blame. After all, if the alternator isn't charging the battery properly, it's only a matter of time before it goes kaput. Next up, strange noises. Now, I'm not talking about the sound of your favorite tunes blasting from the stereo. I'm talking about weird noises coming from under the hood. If you hear grinding, whining, or squealing sounds while you're driving, it could be a sign that your alternator bearings are on their last legs. And trust me, nobody wants to be driving around in a car that sounds like a haunted house on wheels. Last but not least, dashboard warning lights. The dreaded dashboard warning lights. They're like the bane of every car owner's existence. But hey, they're there for a reason. If you see the battery light or the alt light illuminate on your dashboard, it's your car's way of telling you that something ain't right with the alternator. So, don't ignore it, unless you're a fan of expensive repair bills, that is. So, there you have it, a crash course in diagnosing a bad alternator. Remember, spotting the signs early can save you a ton of time, money, and headaches down the road. And hey, if you found this video helpful or entertaining, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your fellow car enthusiasts, and of course, subscribe for more car-related content. Until next time, happy driving. Now, here's a question for you. Have you ever had to deal with a bad alternator? Share your experiences or tips with us in the comments below.